you're personally recorded too.
All right, we're recording. Should I, is that good, or should I can go to my iPad and write the numbers out?
No, I got it. The questions are kind of confusing because, you know, it kind of sounded like, what is the amount of the manufacturer overhead allocated for the year based on direct labor hours would have been. So the would have been is your clue that it's how many hours were actually worked.
The clue is allocated. So what was allocated? That's the clue.
Right, but isn't the amount allocated the 175,500?
No, that was the estimate. So you've got the estimate.
That's what I'm getting confused, is the estimate and the allocation. Okay. That's
Yeah,
what I need
so
to be careful.
Estimate, so you got the estimate here. This is step 1.
Estimate, got it.
This is step 2. Step 3 was dividing this by this to get $13.50.
Got that. Then you multiply it by the actual amount of hours is your allocation.
Multiplying by the actual hours to get that.
Yeah.
So again, there's information here that's not relevant yet, right? And that would be this 184,000. But you can imagine another question saying, well, was it over or under allocated, right? Then that's when the 184,000 would come into play.
Okay.
So I just want you guys to be aware that, you know, just the way these questions are set up, there's a lot of information, because we could take one problem and ask like 4 or 5 questions just on that one problem.
Okay.
Moving to number 6. Everyone has the same answer. The amount of overhead that will be allocated is C, 6,600. That's the answer you all said, by the way, C. All right. Questions? Number 7, a lot of words. But everyone's got the same answer. Everyone selected D. Correct answer is D.
Okay, sorry. I'm just very excited.
Some people are moving closer to their second extra point. All right. I want you guys to know, I don't think Zoom conferences get more exciting than this. So thank you, Zoe.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because I mean,
I wish they had more like emoji reactions. They
I know, except just like this.
We're all excited, Professor. We're just muting our mics.
Number 8. Thank you, Jennifer. How much manufacturing overhead was over allocated or under allocated for the year? And
drum roll.
Okay, I'm seeing D, I'm seeing A, and I'm seeing B.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I might as well get my iPad out, because we're gonna have to talk about this, because the correct answer is B.
Oh. Team won.
Oh, rah. Okay, I'm very happy for my team.
All right.
Hey, Zoe, chill out. Okay.
Zoe,
no.
Zoe, you don't have to do acceptance speeches after every.
Don't say it to me. Also, it's Alyssa who's screaming too. So
Yeah.
Let's just be quiet. You can do whatever you want. You can do it. Number 8. All right.
2 points already. Okay.
All right. Explain this one, please, because we are totally wrong.
All right. Let me.
Dang it.
Let's switch the game up a little bit.
Whose kid is that? I'm just curious.
That is my kid.
Oh.
All right, so the answer is 160,000. So remember, over under allocated, we're looking at our manufacturing overhead or overhead account, right? So we have actual machine manufacturing overhead costs, right? This is your indirect material, indirect labor, and other costs, which was 500,000. And then you have your, you have to figure out how much did we allocate. So the amount that you allocate is going to be your step one. This is step one, estimated manufacturing overhead. They're allocating based on direct labor hours. So that's your step two. You take 550 divided by 50, that gives you $11 per direct labor hour. And then you multiply that, that's your step three. And then your step four is you multiply that by the actual direct labor hours. So 60,000 times 11 equals 660,000. And with what you allocate, you debit work in process, 660. You credit manufacturing overhead, 660. So by crediting this 660,000, okay, you're left with the difference of 160,000. So we over allocated right? We over allocated 660,000 to our inventory when our actual costs were only 500,000. I'll pause for questions.
Okay. I think how I did it was I just looked at estimated manufacturing overhead costs and figured it was the allocated. Those two words are messing me up. So I thought it was giving us I didn't know we had to figure it out. So that's where we went wrong. Sorry, team one.
Yeah, I thought it was one of those answers right in front of you things. Don't look into it too much.
Right, like you didn't have to do any calculating. It was just, 50. That's on that side of the T and that's on the other side. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Here's another thing that sucks about this exam. So one thing that sucks is that it's a lot of math, algebra type math. The other thing that sucks is that it gives you, there's answers there that you can calculate to, right? So here, if you take 550 minus 500, you get 50, right? So there's ways to get to these numbers. And I think if you did the same thing with machine hours, you may get like the 100,000. So there's a lot of, I don't even know what you call it. This is just the way the questions are laid out.
Misleading, trick question.
Yeah, I don't like it. Hey, this is one that was not on the test, so that's a positive.
Now that we know how to do it, you should put it on the test.
Wait, so, okay. I don't have any questions, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna move to question number 9, rounding it out.
Okay.
Wait, are we on 9?
Yes.
Yes.
What was the answer there? Is that number 8?
B, the boy.
For number 8, it was 160,000 over allocated.
B, right? Oh, I see.
B.
Okay. All right. Number 9, everyone said D, and God bless you all. That was the correct answer.
Woo!
D.
Let's go.
Number 10, there is a consensus with the letter C. Heard some great conversations about that in one group. Forgot which one. Everyone got that right. C. Are there questions? Oh, I know. I was listening to Michael talk to his group, and he was explaining why the answer is C. On to number 11 then.
Yeah.
What is the contribution margin per machine hour for espresso machines? You guys are a smart group, man. You all said C. And the answer here is C.
Okay.
Every group said C.
Every group said C.
Question about this one.
Yes.
Originally, just espresso machines. I don't know why we added the food processor thing. Like I get now why we did it, but it kind of confused me up a little bit.
You said you added the food processor?
Or subtracted. So I took the espresso machine 225 minus 150.
Josh
That's
is supposed to make you hot
75.
dogs, but he always gets sidetracked.
And now
Oh, that's not how we get it.
it.
That's not how you get that answer. Let me explain this.
Contribution margin and the espresso machine contribution
She
margin.
don't cook him dinner. And Jake too.
Just switching over to the iPad. So to get this answer, we have to look at, first of all, we have to figure out what's our contribution margin. So this is only asking about the espresso machine. So again, relevant, irrelevant information. That's irrelevant information. So the espresso machine has a contribution margin of, I think that's $75. But we can manufacture 3 espresso machines every hour.
Oh, there it is.
So
Okay.
3 times 75 is how we get the 225.
Okay.
So you can imagine another question would be, what should they be producing, right? The espresso machines or the food processor, how much of each, right? They can only produce 200, you know. So there's a lot of information here, but this is not relevant to answer this question. That's not relevant, right? So it's really important that you're looking at what questions being asked and what information do I need to answer that question. All right. Question number 12. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple groups that are like 11 out of 12. Good job. All right, here we go. Question number 12. Let's see what we got here. Seeing some D's, I'm seeing some A's. The correct answer is D.
Yes. Oh.
Yes.
D.
3, baby.
Oh my God, that means we got all of them right. Oh my God.
Do you mind explaining that one real quick? Just how you would do it? Because I just want to compare it to how we kind of got to the answer.
Can you tell us how you got to your answer?
So I remember in our group we were talking about the fixed costs are remaining unchanged. So no matter what, you're still going to be paying those fixed expenses, and your contribution margin's $20,000. So basically, your total operating income is going to decrease by $20,000 because you're going to be losing that from not producing the fashion line, but you're still going to be paying those fixed costs for wherever, maybe it's the warehouse or something. Like, you don't just lose that. That's kind of how we got to it.
That is exactly how you get to it. So here's, and so Alyssa, I matter of fact, you called me into your room, which I don't know if you guys know that, but you can call me into the room. when we get to chapter 9, you guys are going to be in a breakout group for like 2 weeks. But you called me into your room, and you were asking me about the question about contribution margin and the fixed expenses and whether those go away. The difference is that the only thing that we're mindful of are the avoidable fixed costs, right? So what fixed cost can be avoided if we get rid of the fashion line? Okay. In this example, they're saying the fixed costs are going to remain unchanged. So we can't get rid of this no matter what, right? So the only thing that we'd get rid of is our contribution margin would be 0. Okay. But this 38,000 would then just move over here, right? So we'd still have 76,000, but instead of having 125, we'd have 105, okay? Which would mean this would be 29K, which means we'd be down 20,000.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot in the chat room. Oh, that's just, oh.
Everyone's saying good job, basically.
Yeah.
Michael is the GOAT.
Yes, sir.
Michael, which Michael? What? Never mind. All right.
Oh, there's 2 Michaels, yeah.
All right. How are we feeling, everybody?
Okay.
Better.